there's something that wasn't quite right in my life. I've been told by therapists like how I describe how I was, that's basically depression. There's this core belief that thinks that we can't do it, we don't deserve it, it's not for us, and all of that is bullcrap. So I thought I'd want to share more about my personal development journey so far in my life, because it's something that has been kind of the focus of my interest for a while now, for at least the past year, but maybe really the past couple years. But I was kind of lost at first on how to enter this personal development journey, what to do, how to heal myself, and things like that. So okay, so going back, I don't know the exact dates on things, but going back maybe a few years ago, I knew that there's something that wasn't quite right in my life. I would wake up feeling very low energy, essentially very unhappy, and I remember like laying in bed, and I would lay in bed for hours before I would get out. I don't know why I wasn't going to work at this. Maybe it was the couple days I was working from home or something, but I would lay in bed till like 11 a.m. Just scrolling on my phone, and then get up and then just be very unhappy. And I remember looking up things online, like Googling it, and I thought like I had like, what did I have? Was it early morning depression or something? And then I kind of related it to all the clutter that we had, because our mattress was on the floor and we had lots of clutter in the bedroom. So I was thinking of all these things it could be, and now I know clutter does can affect your mood. The temperature can affect your mood, many things can affect your mood. But there was a lot more deeper issues that I weren't dealing with, leading me to these feelings of unhappiness and essentially depression. I've been told by therapists like how I describe how I was, that's basically depression. So I was beginning to understand that I wasn't happy. It's very interesting because when you're there, at least for me, I didn't wake up one day like, oh, I'm depressed. Like, I didn't really know that. Like when I was in it, you just have nothing to compare it to, because it's like a slow progression, for me anyway. So I knew I wanted to change because I wasn't happy. I was like, this can't be what life was meant to be. Like, you know, it's interesting when you're young. When I was younger, you think, I really thought anything's possible. Like, life is just gonna get better and better and better. And you think it's just gonna be easy. Like, things are just gonna be laid out for you, given to you. Of course, this is just all time speaking from personal experience. And then you realize one day it's not like that. And you're not quite sure why. So that's when I realized that I need to do something for myself to help me better understand what it is I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that way, how I got there, and what I can do differently to be happier. So I'm taking a long time to get to. So actually, I first started seeing a therapist, just because I thought that'd be the next best thing to do, and it was helpful. I guess that was the first time I started opening up about, you know, some of my feelings that I was going through, things in my life, maybe some reasons why I weren't happy. It's very uncomfortable in the beginning to talk about your feelings, what you're going through. I mean, it still is uncomfortable. Like, when I'm talking about things that are difficult for me, I still get very hot, like hot flashes, sweaty, very much so, but it becomes easier. The things you talk about change, they evolve. So, you know, it's always challenging, but you're not talking about the same things. I'm not where I was 2 years ago, obviously. I wouldn't be able to talk in front of a camera like this 2 years ago. Not at all. So you evolve, you grow, but there's always going to be, you know, something that's challenging because you continue to grow and evolve. So I started seeing a therapist, and then I think shortly after that I started working with my first coach, and she helped me a lot as far as understanding what self-worth is, what self-love is, and how to begin cultivating a practice that helps you grow how you feel about yourself. And for me, a lot of that came down to just getting to know myself more. Like, I had no idea who I was for most of my life, and part of that is just because that's my personality type. Like, I'm very open-minded. I can take on other people's opinions instantly and see their side and agree with them. I can see so many different people's perspectives and opinions, and I have a hard time forming my own opinion because of that. And that's just because who I am. It's actually in my human design. It's just my personality type, and that can be a very, very powerful thing when you. Also, for Enneagram, I'm a peacemaker. That's actually a 9. It's another personality type test, and I remember growing up, my mom would always tell me that, like, I'm the one that holds everyone together because, you know, I can see everyone's side, and I always say, like, oh no, they didn't mean it that way, and, you know, I always bring everyone together. So it can be a very strong thing in, like, group settings, and also with coaching and things like that. So it's not like I don't see it as all bad or anything, but just growing up, I didn't realize that, like, because I just thought, I guess that attributed to my feelings of unworthiness, because I didn't have that strong opinion. I didn't know how to be like, this is what I think, this is what I believe, and that's just not, of course I'm forming that now, but it's still just, I'm not very an opinionated person. So yeah, just getting to understand that, like, once I knew that's just who I was, it kind of gave me permission to say, like, okay, I'm normal, there's nothing wrong with me, that I don't have these strong opinions, and it's several other things about myself, you know, as you get to know. The other thing is, once you start to believe that there's nothing wrong with you ever at any time, like, just period, then, you know, that takes away a lot of that feelings of, like, shame and being scared to try things and things like that. So I worked with my first coach. I think that was a 3-month program. So this was all very new to me, this, like, personal development, getting to know yourself, working through old wounds from your childhood, and healing those. So this was my first exposure to it, and so I grew a lot, but at the end of that, I still felt very just like, okay, now what? I still have these feelings of, like, low self-esteem. I don't have the confidence I want. I'm not doing the things I want to do. So that's when I really got into the Enneagram, just to get to know myself better, and that's great. Like, I highly recommend it. Just be on a mission to figure out who you are. Not figure out who you are, because you're always changing, but just to, when you can see a whole group of people who are just like you, it is so comforting, and it just takes away this pressure to try to mold into the person you think you should be. So once, for me, what I identified that what I'm really lacking is confidence. What I really want, what would really make me happy, is if I were more confident, if I could just show up, be myself, and just, yeah, not have the feeling of worrying of how I'm gonna appear to other people. So these are all things I'm still working through. Having confidence, or being confident, the act of being confident doesn't take away those feelings. It's like working through those feelings that allows you to show up as yourself. But anyway, at the time, I thought, I want a confidence coach. So I looked up confidence coach on Instagram. Oh, and before this, I worked with a couple of other therapists. I think therapy is great. I mean, it's such a good place to be able to talk to someone and hear just an outside perspective that has that education and everything. What I found, the work that I really needed to get me to where I am today, and where as I'm continuing to grow, is working with a one-on-one coach that's in the personal development world, not with a therapist. Therapy's great. Like I said, I learned a lot, but just where I'm happy where I am today because of the work I've done with a one-on-one coach. So I found a confidence coach. I worked with her for 3 months, and that's when I really started to heal some of my inner wounds, these limiting core beliefs that I held. And I figured out why I hold those beliefs. So I had to go back to memories from my childhood, talk to that girl who was there, and heal her. And that changes the way you feel about yourself, the way you view the world, the way you view your fears. It really began my healing process and the journey to where I am now. After that, I worked 2-on-1. I had 2 coaches, and then now I just signed up for a year. My confidence coach. I mean, she's so much more than a confidence coach. It's really hard to like put into a couple words, you know, the type of healing and growth you can get from working with someone in the personal development world. And it has a lot to do just with your connection to them. That's my advice. If you are looking to work with someone, you have to feel safe with them, and you just have to have this connection of them. Your energies and your personalities just need to mesh. I think that's the biggest thing. You can't just go to anyone. I think that's why therapy is so hard, because you don't really get to know the therapist. You just kind of walking in on a stranger, and regardless of how educated they are, if you don't have a good connection, I think that has a lot to do with it. So anyway, when I was looking at confidence coaches, I just followed a bunch of people, and I followed them for a little while and just see how I felt about them, who I clicked with, and actually really quickly I clicked with Natalie. So that has been my journey so far. So what that looks like, so obviously you meet with people, and your coach, and you work through what you're going through at that moment in time. There's very many different strategies. It looks very different for different people, and every coach has their own way of doing things. But outside of that time is where a lot of the work happens. Like, you just don't get fixed. It's a daily practice, being honest with yourself and being open with your emotions. There's definitely certain things I've learned along the way that I didn't realize before, just like being comfortable with your different emotions, that they're okay, they're human, it's the human experience, and not to be scared of feeling sad or disappointed. Like, it's okay, feel it, be it, and then it will pass. But other things I want to talk about was like the practices I do daily, and I'm still finding my groove. Maybe not still, it's something that it can change from day to day, or you can get into little phases of things. Things I'm referring to are like journaling, reading, meditation. There's something I've been doing for a little while now called EFT tapping. So the thing I struggled with in the beginning, and I think almost everyone does at first when they're focusing on personal development work, is thinking that there's this structure to it. Like, you have to get out your journal, you have to write 10 things you're grateful for, you have to write the 10 desires you have, and then you have to journal for 3 pages, and you have to do this every day. Like, it's so not like that, because once you put those rules and structure around it, then it's just another thing on your to-do list, and it's taking away the healing factor of it. So it's definitely something you have to kind of work through on your own, and just know that there's no right way to do this thing. So what my practice looks like today, or most recently I should say, is I wake up, I read a few pages in a book, and lately I've been reading Judgment Detox by Gabrielle Bernstein. I love that book. There's a lot of great tools and strategies in there, and it opens your eyes to all the judgment you have, not only to others but to yourself. So it's learning how to stop yourself from judging, and it's such a freeing thing. Like, I'm still working through it. You know, there's even Gabrielle Bernstein says there's still times, you know, when she's judging, and but it's not the point to never judge, it's the point to recognize it and then how to respond to it. Anyway, so I read, and there's specific meditations in that book that I follow. So that's, I kind of meditate too after I read or while I'm reading. And then I try to journal. I don't journal every day, although lately I kind of have almost every day. So it's not a rule. It's not like I have to journal, right? But I know it's helpful. So I get out my journal, and then the one thing that I've really, that's really helped my practice is being patient. And I learned this from Natalie, but with everything you do, but it really helped me with journaling, because I don't like writing. Like okay, my journaling journey is a whole nother story, and maybe I'll talk about it after this, but I write really quickly. I want to get it over with, and this was just, this shift has been really recently, like in the last week or two, but I really slowed down now. Like, actually I think I can show you like the difference in my writing. Let's see. This one isn't good. Wait, hold on. Okay, so this is just a random page, but I don't know. Maybe you can't tell because I'm not showing you up close, but like, I don't know. The point is that I slowed down, and just slowing down with no intention of slowing down, like just to slow down, what has resulted in that is me removing the shoulds or the rules around journaling. I know it's not a really clear connection, but now I just show up to write with no intention. But that's not to say there isn't specific things I choose to write about. Like, I've tried here and there lately, I've been doing I am worthy because statements at the end of the day, just kind of saying what I've done through that day, and this is really to heal my belief that I'm not worthy. I've been doing, most recently, I've been doing something else that's really interesting. You're supposed to write down I'm gonna have a hard time explaining this. I'm gonna skip this for now. I can explain it later when I get more used to the strategy. So sometimes I'll journal in the morning, sometimes I'll journal in the evening, sometimes I'll journal in the middle of the day if I like to. The point is that I really remove the rules around it, but I know that it helps me, so I'll show up to do it. And then EFT tapping is something I've been doing that helps you move through a difficult emotion. So the two emotions I struggle with the most are self-doubt and unworthiness. So there's specific, you tap on specific meridian points, and then you're speaking, and at first you're kind of outing what you're feeling and why it's negative, and then it kind of transforms to like, but it's okay and you can do it, and it's a really powerful technique that I like to do. So that's been my personal development journey thus far, and now I understand that this is a lifetime practice. You're always being open to your emotions, you're being honest with yourself, and the reason why this is so important to me, because like I said, I was not happy before. And I am happy now because I'm learning to be myself, and this is something I struggled with so deeply because I just held so much shame around who I was. A lot of it was because I didn't know who I was, and I just never was given the permission from myself knowing that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm normal, I can make mistakes, I can say weird and wrong things, and I'm still okay. I'll always be okay. So yeah, I hope this helps someone. And so this is why I'm so excited that, okay, so I have a passion of fitness. Obviously, if you follow me anywhere, I'm sure you have, that's why you're watching this, but I've always had a passion for fitness, and I can talk about that more. So it's something I've always wanted to pursue, but was very scared how, or thought I had imposter syndrome basically. But this other part of me, not that I have parts, but like I have a strong passion for personal development because it has helped me tremendously. I'm so much more happier these days. I truly am. And if you look at my life, really nothing has changed. Like, I still have the same job. We moved into this beautiful condo though that I love very much. But you know, it's nothing. I'm still making the same amount of money. Like, nothing has really changed. So, but I'm way happier now, and I feel less pressure to, like, I have to do. I have to be something. I have to create something. I have to be running this successful business. Like, I don't feel those pressures anymore. Because of all this work I've been doing, like, I have a very different perspective and a different energy around all of it. I feel more patient, I feel more at ease, I feel less anxiety, and it's all because of this inner personal development work. And that is what I'm bringing to my one-on-one coaching, because I know how powerful it is. I know that these are the real blocks that are holding us back from achieving the things we want to achieve, whether that is you know, losing 10 pounds or eating better, or building a habit of reading or journaling or waking up earlier. All of these things, the real reason why we can't do them is because there's something inside of us. There's this core belief that thinks that we can't do it, we don't deserve it, it's not for us, and all of that is bullcrap. So it's so exciting because with my one-on-one coaching, I know the science behind how to lose weight that's healthy, that's sustainable, that makes you feel good. I know workouts that are effective for you. I know all of these things. I have my certifications, but I know the deeper meaning of our behaviors and our minds and our habits, and why we struggle to stick to new habits. And I'm gonna bring all of this into my one-on-one coaching. I didn't even know this video was gonna go there. I truly just wanted to share my journey with my personal development, because it has been a journey, and I've learned so much, and I'm so grateful for it, and I really want to help other people do the same. And then tying it into my passion for fitness, I just think it's so exciting. It's everything I love into one, and I can't wait to help other women do the same. So yeah, let me know. I guess I'll be linking my one-on-one coaching in this, and if I can. If not, the link is in my bio on my Instagram page, or just contact me if you have more questions. And I'll be making more videos like this because I really like this.